Hey everyone, it's Steve the Canadian Photo Guy here again. I know it's been a while since we've posted a tutorial video, but it's time to get back into this, and we're going to get started with a short little tutorial on panorama photos using Adobe Lightroom. Now, you might be out on location, and I was going to say you might only have a 50mm lens, but you might actually have a 15 or 16mm lens, but it maybe just isn't wide enough to capture the entire scene in front of you. How do you go about capturing everything? Well, Adobe has got the perfect tool for you. Let's get started here. We'll go into our develop module. We've got 4 images here. Starting from left, moving over to the right hand side. Now, this would be quite a task to try to stitch these together manually by yourself, but thankfully, Adobe has got the perfect solution. I'm going to hit Shift and select the very first image here, so we now have all 4 images selected. Simply right-click on any one of the images and go up to Photo Merge. Now, under Photo Merge, you will see a couple of options: HDR Panorama and HDR Panorama. Now, in this case, we're just going to be worried about the Panorama option. I'll click on that. Now, this will open up the Panorama dialog box, and you can see Adobe is working on stitching this panorama together. It'll take a couple of minutes to do this, and as it's doing this, you'll notice there are several different ways of stitching this together. Personally, I find the spherical to be the best way of doing this. Now, as I say that, you look over here and think, are you sure that's the best way of doing it? Well, I know this doesn't look fantastic. It looks kind of distorted. We're obviously not filling the entire frame if you look around a perfectly rectangular frame. One option is the auto crop. Click that on, and it just crops into the image. All right, not bad. However, take note, right at the very bottom of the image here, along the bottom of the lake, we're right at the very edge. Let's uncheck that. Now you see there's a lot more information that's down at the bottom here, not just along the edge of the lake. There is another solution to this: boundary warp. Boundary warp is a fantastic piece of magic that Adobe has put into here. Watch as we slide the boundary warp over to the right. We'll slowly move it on over and watch the image as it just morphs into place into a perfectly symmetrical image, filling out all the sides without losing any information along the bottom. We're not losing information along the edges. I'm going to undo this here and look back at this. Now you see the whole tree here. We're going to go to the auto crop again. Boom, a lot of that is taken out of the image. A lot of this bottom is taken out of the image. I shot it wide. I'm trying to get as much as possible. We'll undo that auto crop and do the boundary warp again. Look at that. We've got a fantastic image. All you do at this point is hit merge. Now, this will take a minute or two as it stitches it together, and it will import it directly into your row of images here. Alright, and the image is finished. Now, it'll be at the very end of our row of images here. Let's open that up, and there we have it. We have a perfectly merged stitch of 4 different images. Just zoom in. It'll take just a second to clear up here as it renders the full resolution image. And you can see coming across, there is absolutely no sign of anything being stitched together. You have a flawless stitch coming across here. Absolutely perfect. Going up to the top, into the clouds, which were moving. There's absolutely no sign of any stitch. You have a perfectly stitched image. This is fantastic for putting together 4 images. You can do more. And I actually have another series of images here. We've got this sunset. This was actually shot with a 70 to 200mm lens. And I did 2 rows of images. So let's take this set of images. Let's just do this again just to see how this performs. Again, we have 2 rows of images, not just one continuous row. So let's right click on this, go up to Photo Merge and Panorama. And again, it'll open up the Panorama dialog. Obviously, this will take a little longer as we have a lot more images. Now, the more complex your images, the more images you have in your panorama, the longer this will take, of course. And keep in mind, too, when we're doing this, I'm working off of high-resolution RAW files. In doing this, Adobe puts together a DNG file. Now, that is still a RAW file, so you have all the detail and all the information left in the image that you had to begin with. As you can see, I didn't do a perfect job of shooting these images, so we don't have a perfect stitch coming across. Again, a simple fix using boundary warp. We'll stretch that right across, fill the image, and we can hit merge. We will let the computer render this as it'll take a few minutes, and we will come back and look at the finished product. Alright, and it looks like that image is now completed, and it will be sitting right at the end of our row of images here. There you have it, a perfectly stitched image with 2 rows of images stitched together on top of each other, and it's a flawless stitch. Again, Adobe has some fantastic features in their products that are meant specifically for photographers. Now, we will do another tutorial coming up shortly, which will deal with how to tweak this image and make it really come to life. The rest of the image is a little dark, the sky's kind of blowing out. We'll fix that. So make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you will be notified when the latest tutorials are coming out. And I hope this was helpful for you, and I look forward to helping you again soon. Take care.